okay, made a ruling. And therefore, as members of parliament, we live with that ruling. Okay?
All right. Yeah. Like, just going back to the Ngilu case, Joseph Kwabok is basically concerned about your inconsistency and says no Honorable Charity Ngilu should not be sacked. The likes of Dr. Evans Kidero and the heads of the internal security and other security agencies in relation to Westgate must first lead the way by resigning to pave way for the Honorable Charity Ngilu to follow suit.
Well, you all know that two wrongs can't make a right. We are not saying that because so and so has made a mistake, if another person makes a mistake, then the mistake should be ignored. Okay? What Parliament deals with the issues as they arise. The matter of Honorable Ngilu was addressed through the relevant committees of the House. And I'm also aware that the other committees are handling other matters, other separate matters. If and when the reports of the committees come before the House, the members of Parliament will deal with those issues. And myself, as a member representing Ugunja constituency, will obviously play my role if and when any report comes before the House, just like I did yesterday, and do justice to everyone, not just to Honorable Ngilu, but to anybody else.
How do you respond to Kenneth Okoth, Kibra MP's comment saying Ngilu shouldn't be sacked because her colleagues in the security sector whose failures were manifested in the Westgate attack failed and were not sanctioned?
Just like I've said, every member of Parliament has got the right to their opinions and views. But more importantly, as I've mentioned, if the issue of Westgate, I believe, is under investigation by the relevant parliamentary committee. If and when they present a report, the question will be addressed at that time. For now, it would be premature for me to talk about Westgate because, for sure, I don't even know what happened in Gazette. I'm sure many other Kenyans don't know. So until we get a clear report, either from the parliamentary committee or any other an investigative agency, I'm unable to make that judgment.
Joseph from Malindi says, her intentions were good. She even revoked the appointment. Who will throw the first stone? Let Ngilu work. How do you respond?
Well, I mentioned yesterday, and I still repeat, that the Honorable Ngilu, in the wake of the parliamentary resolution yesterday, would have to search her own conscience, whether
Kenyans don't search their own conscience. They stay put.
And if she stays put, I also say that the president would also have to weigh whether it is necessary for her to continue serving that ministry or not. And again, I also said that, again, the Constitution gives all members, any other member who wishes to pursue the matter on the floor of the House by way of introducing a motion to have her dismissed on the ground of violation of the Constitution.
Why do you think there was that clash between Ngilu and the Kenya National Land Commission?
That
where the problem started.
We must understand that most of the issues problems we have in this country are land related.
Yes.
Okay? And part of the problem in the management of land has been, in the past, the practice of having powers to delineate land, to exercise land, to issue land vested in one or two hands. Formerly the president and the Commission of Lands. So these are the problems that this constitution wanted to cure by establishing the National Land Commission, which is an independent commission under the constitution, vested with the powers to manage land on behalf of the people of Kenya. It's apparent that some people in the executive do not want to recognize this fact, that the management of land can no longer be business as usual. The National Land Commission has got all the powers, to manage land on our behalf. And therefore, it was unnecessary really to start creating tough wars between the minister and the National Land Commission, because the mandate of the commission is very, 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 very clear in the Constitution. And I still believe that that commission should be left to undertake its role, to play its role, to execute its mandate as mandated by the Constitution.
But is there any political will to empower that commission? That's the problem. In fact, I think one of the reasons why Ngilu was appointed to that ministry was specifically what she did, to muzzle it.
I don't know what the reasons behind the appointment, that position. But then...
But judging by her history...
but then, that is why we have Parliament. Because Parliament is supposed to play an oversight role, to review the conduct of state officers. Okay? And in fact, the Commission does not have to be empowered by anybody. The Commission is already empowered by the Constitution. And anybody tampering with the work of the Commission is violating the Constitution. And that's one of the reasons why we are saying that because the minister, through her actions, violated the Constitution. Okay?
If you look, forget about even Ngilu, if you look at the way the commission was formed, the National Land Commission, and the way it was delayed, not even a lot of delay was caused. It looks as if, because of land has been an historical problem in this country, as you mentioned earlier. It does look in this country as if anybody wants to deal with the land issues effectively, because there are a lot of vested interest right away from the president himself to the smallest owners of land like me who owns a quarter of an acre. There's a lot of interest in this matter.
I agree with you totally.
So?
Totally. I agree with you that we have vested interest in land.
So nobody is going to make a very strong land commission.
But I still have to repeat that the commission is already strong. What we need is to ensure...
You can appoint the people who are not worth anything there.
And we can remove them as a parliament. And that's why you have the parliament. Parliament must remain ever vigilant. Must remain vigilant and that undertake its duty of oversighting this, the other organs of government effectively, to avoid the situations where a commission such as the National Land Commission is muzzled, as to use your words.
Right. Perhaps as we come to a close, there were reports indicating that you were threatened on Tuesday evening after you filed the amendment to the report. Is that true?
I don't want to use the word threat, really.
What happened? Tell us about
that. Obviously, you know, that report, the way it was brought to the House,
yes,
was very good in its observations and findings, but rather vague in its recommendations. Okay?
Yeah.
So I saw a disconnect. Because recommendations of a report must reflect the findings in the body of the report.
Yes.
So my amendment, my proposed amendment was meant to cure that anomaly, was to fill that void.
Why do you think there was a void? Was it a mistake or was it deliberate?
I don't know, because I don't sit in either of those committees. But then, if you find in the body of the report that the minister has violated the Constitution, through and through, and then the recommendation don't see anything, okay, to address that violation.
Yes.
So I had to introduce an amendment, to hold the minister to account for the violation of the Constitution, for the transgressions, to take full responsibility, which essentially meant to give way.
And then what happened?
But then, you see, at that point, it's a honest net was stirred.
Oh, what? Oh, yeah, it was dead.
You know, it's like throwing a cat among the pigeons. Many people thought that this was a sure way of nailing the cabinet secretary.
Yes.
And of course, people started canvassing, trying to see how the amendment can be scuttled. And of course, pressure from people who are interested in protecting the cabinet secretary, urging me to withdraw the amendment or make it slightly.
What kind of pressure?
Well, not really pressure, but I mean, people are urging me to perhaps tone down on the language of the amendment, okay, so that it doesn't come out so strong as to leave the minister and the president no option, rather than to have her step aside.
Was it
So-
forceful? Was
No,
it a
no,
request?
no, it's not forceful. And of course, as I mentioned, I resisted because I was very clear in my mind what I was up to and that what I was doing was the best thing under the circumstances.
Your argument is that the reason why you're chucking Ngilu out of the Ministry of Lands is because of big landowners and people with vested interests who have corruptly grabbed government land. She has been conducting serious reforms in that ministry. So those people with vested interests are the ones now who want her out because she has been reforming the ministry.
Okay.
Is that a valid argument?
I'm not aware about that, but then
There has been arguments to that effect.
personally, I don't know land what I'm talking about. But then the question is, the minister was summoned before the two committees. In the report, and I saw the report with her response, written response, which she signed. There's nowhere where she talks about these cartels, which are trying to frustrate her. There's nowhere where she talks about her efforts to deal with the cartels. And therefore, really, in the absence of any evidence, I wouldn't want to dwell on those allegations. Yeah. If they are there, let whoever the cartels have frustrated come out and tell us in the open who are these cartels. Yeah.
All right. So many thanks indeed for your comments. We totally appreciate it. And thank you so much, Honorable James Opiyo Wandai, Member of Parliament, Ugunja constituency. We'll be right back. Don't go away.